Hafaday, this is Congressman Michael St. Nicholas. Our veterans deserve the best, and I'm working hard to make sure they receive what they earned defending our freedom. If you need help receiving the benefits you earned from the VA or the Defense Department, please call my office at 475-6453 or go online at stnicholas.house.gov. On behalf of a grateful community, thank you for your service.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael St. Nicholas.
Hafaday, this is Congressman Michael St. Nicholas. Our veterans deserve the best, and I'm working hard to make sure they receive what they earned defending our freedom. If you need help receiving the benefits you earned from the VA or the Defense Department, please call my office at 475-6453 or go online at stnicholas.house.gov. On behalf of a grateful community, thank you for your service.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael St. Nicholas.
Hafaday, this is Congressman Michael St. Nicholas. Our veterans deserve the best, and I'm working hard to make sure they receive what they earned defending our freedom. If you need help receiving the benefits you earned from the VA or the Defense Department, please call my office at 475-6453 or go online at stnicholas.house.gov. On behalf of a grateful community, thank you for your service.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael St. Nicholas.
Funerals actually take a lot more planning than I expected. With us using Island Cuisine for the first time, of course we were iffy, but once they came and showed us their service, their food, tasted their food and everything, we definitely use them again because their service and food is just awesome.
After Guam, si Rod's Gimpa introducing the 2020 Toyota Tacoma Access Cab T-Max. Este na mês, got may promo United Airlines, $1,000 United vouchers. Often nangga, sabik that something mamanono si Tacoma, Guam, Tacoma territory. Sexy Rods, ginagi Atkinsbro Toyota, 671-788-2584. Alumbray, go si Rods, sinanagan sa 671-788-2584. Often nangga, let's go places.
Buenas Micronesia, I'm Troy Torres.
And I'm Johnny Rosario.
Welcome to our studios here in Tumon, Guam. It is Thursday, February 27th. Today is not, tomorrow is not the end of the month. The end of the month is on Friday the 29th, right?
Saturday.
Sorry, Saturday the 29th, yes.
Yes.
But
if you have to check into probation, you better check in tomorrow if you have not checked in for the month.
yes, and don't bring a pipe to probation. It's not a good idea at all. Ask Gelvin, what's his last name?
Joffers.
Ask Gelvin Charfers, but you might not be able to ask him because he might not have had his magistrate's hearing yet. He might be in jail for bringing a pipe to the Sinania precinct. Anyway, Hafa Day, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Let's start with a Saki alert.
Yes. Oh shoot. This motorcycle was stolen from Paradise Fitness in Dedido. It was captured on camera. That car, that silver Civic, license plate MAN 5055, has been tracked to a home on Chalan, Palawan in Dedido. This is on Waiseng Song Road, and this is the home it has been tracked to. And this is investigations of the streets. The name of the two people that were involved in stealing this motorcycle, Remy Daughtry is her name. Can you put her picture? There you go, Remy Daughtry. And then the guy's name is Juan Meno, and there he is.
These are the Sakis?
These are the Sakis. They were last seen in Swamp Road riding the bike. And then that car was tracked to the house on Chalan, Palawan, which is a little bit further down from Swamp Road.
So it's in like the NCS area or something?
No, it's on Waiseng Song area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the license plate for that car is MAN 5055. And these are the people believed to have stolen that red bike outside of Paradise Fitness in Dedido.
Do we know when it was stolen?
Yeah, the date's there on the bike.
Oh.
February 24, 2020. Stolen at 4:52 p.m. at Paradise Fitness, Dedido. So if you see this bike, if you happen to run into this bike, this car, please call 911 and let them know that you want to give information on the stolen red bike. Remy Daughtry and Juan Meno.
Remy Saki Melania Daughtry.
Yes.
And Juan Saki Dinanya Menu.
Yes.
Can we go to my screen so we can show people? So Eric went to Ipao Beach Park today with his nephew and his niece, and noticed that this, what do you call this thing? Playground equipment? Yeah. If you look closely, you'll see how the equipment is starting to rust. This is like not even the bad one.
That's a platform
That's-
leading to a slide,
That's the platform leading to the slide.
and the safety rail on both sides are gone.
Your mic is on, right, Chelo? People can hear you?
It will be.
So if you notice that this is the platform that's elevated, it's leading to the slide, and the railing that's supposed to be there is gone. So the kids, it's just a matter of time before some kid falls off.
Yes.
Of that. You know how kids can be. And then that is not a piece of a tree that you see in the foreground of the picture. That is rusted metal that is holding the bearing that I'm not even gonna try and talk
So that
heterosexual here.
that part, the entire platform is missing, and it also leads to a slide.
But look at in the background, you see the column holding up the platform is already being eaten.
Stanaki.
It's Sinaki.
Stenaki.
Stanak.
Let's see. Look at that. My goodness. This is definitely a safety hazard for kids. There are a lot of kids that play on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there was no caution tape, nothing. There was nothing.
And in related news, the director of the department that runs this thing
Resigned for health reasons,
resigned for health reasons.
according to the MAGA Haga. But, I believe that's the third person to resign because of health reasons in this administration.
Yeah, that's
See, look at that girl. Platform's missing.
no way. I didn't even notice that. There's no platform coming out of that thing.
She's trying to get to the slide.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, poor kid.
So after I took that picture, I said, "No, move." Go.
Oh my goodness.
Sandra's asking, where is this park at? This is at Ipao Beach.
Yes.
What do they call this? They call it
Jungle Gym.
no.
No?
Governor Joseph Flores Park.
Yes.
But everyone knows it as EPAL Park.
Yeah.
It's just like when
EPAL
people say Santos Hill, and I'm like, where in the world is Santos Hill? They're like, oh, that's the road where Weston is. You mean Weston Hill? Jacob Nakamura says, yes, Richard Ibanez's employment is dangerous to our health, dangerous to the health of children, for sure, because that thing should be cautioned off. That thing should be taken down because children shouldn't be on it. And my goodness. So this is just the latest in a series of missteps by the Department of Parks and Recreation. Richard Ibanez has stepped down for health reasons that he says, or that the administration says, and you know.
The governor said. But
Well.
she said we didn't have dengue either. So there's that.
Hey, sis.
There is a not so funny back and forth happening again in the Guam National Guard. Did you receive those?
I did. I received the email.
I don't want to read them because
Oh, did you see the one where Alicia sent it out and then she added her email at the bottom, Alicia at MDL? I thought that was funny.
No, well, it does belong in Mariana's dirty laundry for sure,
Yes.
because there's a lot of dirty laundry in that.
Yes.
But and I guess the reason we can't read it is because number one of them talks about affairs, and we don't really care about that. But it is in defense of Adjutant General. I'm drawing a blank. Esther Agigi, Adjutant General Esther Agigi, and how the crux of the letter is how there are men under her command who do not respect her because she's a woman. Now they go through a whole bunch of dirty laundry of this man in order to get to that point. The point is, because she's a woman, they're not giving her the respect that they are supposed to be giving to her in this command structure. They name a whole lot of people, and these are people who actually we've covered some of this before.
I really think that she's handling it. I think the people that need to be here to do the investigation, I think, are here doing the investigations.
And then there's the reply. Did you see the reply to this?
No, I didn't.
There's a reply to this from, I guess, the other side. This is becoming like a one side versus the other side. It's all like this, I don't know, there's some kind of very dislike of the Adjutant General, and it started before she even became the Adjutant General, and it just seems like this is an unrelenting effort to get rid of
Overthrow her.
Yeah, and I honestly, I don't know what the details are. I don't know what's going on in the operations there, and it's not easy for a news organization to get details of that information and to have it verified because it's a military organization. So I'm not entirely sure what people want us to do with this if they're not going to provide us with the documents to back it up. But there it is. Tony Smith is laughing about your comment, dengue free, just kidding. Oh, Al Bautista is saying that my mic is going on and off. Is it my jacket?
Hang on, shut it up.
Okay. Okay. Gina Marie Tenorio calls, it says, Johnny, you are effing hot.
Oh, thanks, Gina.
Is my mic still going on and off?
I think we should be good.
We're good? Okay. Now, that was just the warm-up of our show. For our first story, it's about the coronavirus. What is the latest update? I believe the numbers are now at above 82,000 reported infections, more than 2,000 deaths. These are the numbers that climb basically every hour throughout the world. There is a confirmed case in Northern California, right? In Northern California, and it is the first case in the United States where the person who received it was not tracked to have traveled.
Yeah, they don't know where he got it or she got it.
Yeah,
They
because
don't
that person
know.
didn't travel.
Right.
Yeah, so there's that going on with the coronavirus in the United States. The president had a news conference this morning, Mariana's time, and what was reported in the news is that the president said that there were
Someone's saying bad mic connection.
still bad mic.
No, that's over.
That's old. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Carl Fukuda, I think, is calling you a cougar.
Huh?
No, Chelu, the bad mic connections from 1 minute ago.
Oh, no, it's fixed. It's fixed.
Oh, Gina calls saying, Eric, can you get a close-up shot of Johnny for me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, Eric will.
Yes, I can.
Jacob Nakamura gives us the real numbers, or the up-to-date numbers: 82,585 corona cases throughout the world, 2,814 deaths. Now, again, this is information that does not include the infections and the deaths that are occurring inside those tall buildings inside Wuhan province in China, because there's a lot of underreporting going on in China.
There was a scare today. It was all over social media that someone put out, that GRMC, but that was a joke. When you pressed on the button,
If you click on the link,
yeah, it opens up to a bad picture.
it opens up to an African tower flong.
I wouldn't even know what to do with that. I would choke just by staring, just by looking at it. So there was a press release from the joint it caused this, But well, Guam cannot tell you if there's any coronavirus on Guam because there are no test kits.
Yes, we got information from Jenna Blas over the Joint Information. I actually don't even know that it's a Joint Information Center yet, but it's from Civil Defense. From Civil Defense that there was an original array of test kits from the CDC
And
that Guam never got.
Yeah, but they have to redo it. So they took it back before it got here, and they're gonna send us the right ones.
We're waiting for the right ones to happen. And so one of the things that we asked the administration today was whether the governor has the authority to cancel flights, or has she had the authority to cancel flights. And someone in the administration did remind me that in 2008, when we had the H5N1 issue, there was someone who died from it on Guam, a notable business leader actually, and Governor Camacho at that time went through this same exercise, and the Federal Aviation Administration told him no. The local government does not have the authority to cancel flights. So Governor Luliangro might be getting a bad rap for not canceling flights because she never had the authority to begin with. But you know what I was thinking about? These airlines can cancel the flights. They have all the authority to cancel the flights on their own.
Right.
So if they were...
All of their workers are going to end up getting sick.
Yeah.
If they aren't already.
Yeah. So if they were more concerned about the welfare of their workers and of the people of this island, rather than their bottom line, they had the authority to stop these flights from happening weeks ago. And so, when you talked about, we need to bark up the proper tree, right? In who's responsible for making all of these calls. I was just thinking today, hey, how about the airlines? Because it's not just the government.
Yeah.
And the president's already said, because the president has to think about the larger scale of the Dow lost like 1.7, the market lost like $1.7 trillion in trading just today because of this whole thing. His decisions are not going to be based just on the unique needs of a closed market like Guam and the CNMI, and how corona infection here can cause a whole lot more havoc than it would in larger markets. And so, maybe we should be asking the airlines what gives. Why aren't you guys making these decisions? Well, anyway, we did talk to Dr. Tom Shea yesterday, and we were able to get an on-the-phone interview with him. And he made some pretty good points that the people should listen to. And here's that interview now. Shay?
Hey, I just came out of the hospital. I'm in a car. Am I coming across okay?
Yes, you are. Congratulations on the baby.
Oh, yeah. I'm just glad he went well.
Well, of course, they always go well with you.
You're so nice, Troy.
Well, most of the time, yes. Hey, Doc, I was really interested in what you wrote on Facebook about, and I didn't even think about it this way, that how could we know if there was a reported case if we're not even testing for it, I suppose.
Right. I mean, here's the thing with the media is always, put out what the what the press release says, right? We have no confirmed cases. But the question is that, are we testing? Did we test anybody, for any cases? Because if you don't test, of course you're going to have no confirmed cases. Well, I'd like to know how many cases have we tested. Have we tested 1? We tested 2? Or did we test 10? Or did we not test at all? I mean, if we didn't test at all, the more appropriate response would be, we have not tested anyone for coronavirus. But to say no confirmed cases is kind of deceiving because you assume that you're testing. But are we testing? And if we are testing, then let us know that how many cases have we tested, right?
Yeah. Doc, are you concerned about this virus having an impact on Guam?
Oh yeah, of course. I'm I'm concerned even Honolulu too. When I travel to Hawaii, I'm concerned about them too because they have direct flights from China. But as you know, Hawaii already had a case where they had two Japanese tourists that was there visiting, touring around for a week or so, and then it turned positive as soon as they returned to Japan. So that means that they were running around Waikiki or some areas where tourists go that they probably were carriers of this virus. And when they returned to Japan, they had symptoms. Well, I think they actually have symptoms in Hawaii, actually. And then they weren't tested. And when they got back to Japan, they tested positive. So that's concerning. So when you travel to Hawaii, you have to be very concerned about that. That's why, hey, Troy, I'm delaying my grand opening for my clinic because I can't bring my grandson to Guam because I don't want him to take a risk in flight or going to the airport,
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I have a question for you. Do you think whoever is in charge of this kind of thing should shut down flights from these hotspot countries?
I think it's a little late for that because, in my opinion, I think, let's face the facts, okay? Majority of the people who get infected with coronavirus, they don't die. They'll get symptoms, they'll get sick, they'll get a flu-like symptoms or like a cold.
Okay.
But normal individuals, if you're healthy enough, you usually will get through it. That's fine. But you'll test positive, but you won't be on a deathbed.
Okay.
But certainly you have to be concerned if you're elderly, if you're diabetic, or if you have cancer that you're on kind of like immunotherapy, things like that just get you more sick if you get the flu. It's like a regular flu symptom, but for some reason this virus is spreading pretty quickly. And I think shutting down flight may be very too late because the country themselves are already shutting down their own flights.
Yeah.
So I think the common denominator for the United States, okay, we're always behind a little bit compared to the international countries. For example, I think Japan and Korea, they're already testing individuals that have not traveled through China. And I've emailed public health, I've emailed CDC locally as well, and say, I think we should start removing that common denominator. Because the common denominator is that you don't get tested, you don't test individuals unless you have traveled through China or you come in contact with somebody who's infected with the virus, then you get tested. Well, how do you know you contact with somebody with the virus yourself if you don't get tested? And the common denominator going flying through China should be thrown out the door already because the virus is out of China. It's not in China anymore. So it's already gone out. It's gone out for several weeks. That's why it's turning rapidly positive in Korea, Japan, Italy. I mean, it's gone from China to Italy to Korea. And we're right in the middle of the Asia Pacific here. So I think, if I was, I don't gamble. If you put all the dots together, the virus probably is on Guam, and it's already out here, and we're just not testing it. So no confirmed cases can be deceiving.
Are you concerned for your patients, pregnant women?
Of course we're concerned. And interesting you asked that because pregnant moms, we recommend getting the flu vaccine, but with the coronavirus, when you're pregnant, you are immunocompromised. So you're at the end of the day, if you get sick with the flu, you tend to get very, very sick too. So we have to be very careful. But my patients are actually pretty good. They're very compliant. They listen, and they know when to wipe and clean their hands and hygiene, and they're actually very, very good. What I'm concerned about is, those people that don't get the health care that they need, and they're out there roaming around, and they're pregnant, they get no prenatal care, and they get sick. Then those are the patients that we really need to bring in and actually talk to. But I think there's a lot of pressure. Troy, you're in politics. I'm not in politics. So you tell me, how much politics does TVP have on public health or on the on that loop as far as the control of testing goes. But I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that the pressure is from GDP. I certainly understand the tourism is down and the economy is down because they don't have any tourists to spend money, etc. But it's interesting to me too that I've always told the tourist industry that cater to the locals because the locals are your permanent tourists, and we're here. Maybe to Hawaii, you give a Carmina discount 20% on meal for hotels. If you cater to the locals, your tourism will be vibrant. It'll be year-round for you. Even if you have a downturn of tourism, if you cater to the locals, you're going to continue to have the vibrant economy that you have.
As a matter of fact, Doc, the Baldiga Group is offering huge discounts right now. We got some flyers going around on social media about some very big discounts on their rates.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that they're doing that, and I hope to keep it up. I hope to make it. Don't just do it for this, just because the downturn of the economy or the downturn of tourism. Do it permanently. If you do it permanently, then then you get out to the community and just say, why don't this weekend let's just do a stay-at-home vacation. Let's go to a show here locally. Let's go to the Globe show. Let's go to Hyatt and have dinner. And we'll just spend a weekend at the Dusitani, for example. Things like that. I think the tourism industry needs to appreciate the local economy as far as the local tourism go to the local people.
Well, I cannot argue with anything that you've just said.
Yeah. And public health, bless their heart. I know their staff is limited. I know Linda DeNorsi very well. In fact, I worked with Linda when I first came on Guam 23 years ago with the Navy. When I was at the Naval Hospital, I used to moonlight, and Linda used to ask me, hey, can you go down to the southern clinics? So I used to go down to Southern Health Clinic, and I used to see a lot of pregnant women down at Southern Health Clinic on the weekends during my time off with the Navy. So I know Linda way back then. And she's done a wonderful job in getting grants for public health. And she's actually a very reasonable person. But I just think that, their hands may be tied by CDC or certain criteria. But I just hope that, it's not the pressure politically. It is not the tourism pressure. But the testing is very important. Don't hesitate to test. People ask, well, we're only going to get 400 kits. Well, we can only test 1,000 people. Well, what are you waiting for? Just test them. If you get 1,000 negative, that's great. Then you can say, we have 0 confirmed cases. But if you don't test, I wouldn't say you have 0 confirmed cases. I would say, we have not tested anyone. That's a more honest answer, right?
It's an eye-opening testimony that you have about this, and thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Yeah. I wish I called you earlier, but, I was busy.
Oh, now I understand. You're giving birth to life. So I think that takes precedence over anything else.
Yeah, but the our Guam Medical Association, we're planning an international conference on coronavirus.
Okay.
And we got confirmation we may bring a speaker in from Taiwan. All depends because Taiwan is on high alert as well. And their frontliners may just do a teleconference over. So we're planning that for mid-March.
Okay.
And we'll try to educate ourselves on this topic. I know that public health is doing their job, but sometimes it's really difficult to pull someone out of public health and says, hey, come to our meeting and teach us, and we'll engage and we'll work together. But we'll still work together with public health, no doubt, because they need the help. I mean, who knows? They're going to need our help. In the tourism industry, oh my goodness, I've always said healthcare is critical on
Yeah.
island and in the tourism industry, because when your tourist gets sick, you got to get an appointment at clinics. So you got to support your local clinics, because if you have doctors leaving island, you have doctors, there's shortage. If you don't have enough good doctors, your tourism, if they get sick, it's going to be bad.
Understood. Good points. Thank you so much, Doc. I really appreciate your time.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We'll chat again later.
Okay, you have a good day.
All right, bye-bye.
So that was Dr. Tom Shane making a pretty good point that I guess anyone, and you don't even need to be a doctor, could surmise is, how do we know that there's no coronavirus if there's no test kits here to test for it? And maybe the virus is here, and it's just that nobody is sick enough to have gone to the hospital for doctors there to say that they suspect that this is coronavirus because of whatever symptoms that there are. And then that brings us to the other point, is that the hospital today said that they would prefer if coronavirus patients
Went somewhere else.
and, and to be honest with you, personally, okay? If GMH is telling me that and the somewhere else is GRMC, that ain't a good thing. What does GRMC stand for again?
Guam Regional Medical Center.
No, the other thing that people made up. I
don't
forgot.
know.
It
I
was
forgot.
something funny. People were talking about how it stands for something else. The point is that first of all, and this is a poll question that we have on the feed. If you're are we on YouTube right now as well?
Yes, we are.
But so this is on the Facebook feed. There are two poll questions. One is, are you satisfied with GovGuam's response to the coronavirus or preparation for the coronavirus? And the second question is, are you satisfied with the CNMI government's preparation for the coronavirus? But today, the hospital told us that they can handle
Three patients.
three patients, and they would prefer if those three people just didn't go to GMH, right? That's, I don't know what to make of that. That's like, we can handle maybe like 5 heart attacks at a time, but if you have a heart attack, we would prefer that you went somewhere else for emergency care. I don't know. I'm not sure what. Maybe it was like a misspeak. Who said that? Was it Lillian Posadas or
know.
June Perez?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not feeling much comfort from that statement from Guam Memorial Hospital. But in their assessment that they can only handle 3, and that's a real thing. And I'm not entirely sure what the government of Guam's upscaling of this whole thing is as they prepare for the onset of the viral infection.
Well, maybe they can ask Johnny Cole to borrow his white tent. To house. What? That's serious. Maybe every village can have one.
Or they could rent some of Ron's jumpers for, I don't know, they need to pump the air into people's lungs to keep them breathing or something. I don't know. I'm not all that confident in our government's preparation for this thing, but we'll see. We'll see. At least GMH was being brutally honest about their ability to handle this whole virus thing and their preference that you not go to GMH emergency room if you are suspected of having the coronavirus. Luckily, as the government says, there are no confirmed cases and no suspected cases of coronavirus that has been reported. But I think there are a bunch of people in this community who believe that it's already here. And so, you know what I'm doing? Oh, if I say that, it'll be considered as racist.
Okay.
Yeah, so I won't say that out loud. It's not that I don't care. It's just that I don't want Facebook to flag us. Anyway, when we come back from our commercial break, we're going to talk more about health news. The governor has a universal health care coverage program that she's pushing, and we'll get more to the transfer of funds from the Supportive Child in Need program, the Guevaras, and news from the CNMI.
Funerals actually take a lot more planning than I expected. With us using island cuisine for the first time, of course we were iffy, but once they came and showed us their service, their food, tasted their food and everything, we definitely use them again because their service and food is just awesome.
Hafaday, this is Congressman Michael Nicholas. Our veterans deserve the best, and I'm working hard to make sure they receive what they earned defending our freedom. If you need help receiving the benefits you earned from the VA or the Defense Department, please call my office at 475-6453 or go online at stnicholas.house.gov. On behalf of a grateful community, thank you for your service.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael Nicholas.
Afre Guam, Si Rod's aquí para introducir este 2020 Toyota Tacoma Access Cap T-Max. Este na mes, gasto mo yung promo ng United Airlines, $1,000 United vouchers. Ofanan lang ka, sabik man manono si Tacoma, Guam, Tacoma Territory. Text si Rod's, ginagi Atkins Road Toyota, 671-788-2584. Talumbray, go si Rod's, sinanagan sa 671-788-2584. Ofanan lang ka, let's go places.
Before going any further, a shout out to Bennett Lujan Duenas. Thank you so much for always watching. We very much appreciate that. And to all of you who watch and read our news, thank you so much. Now, the governor on Monday spoke before the Guam legislature in her address to the people of Guam, her annual State of the Island address. And it's not every day that Kandit News has something nice to say about the governor, because it's really not our job to be nice. It's our job to be critical of the things that happen in our government. But at the same time, when the governor does something that piques our interest, we're going to discuss it and give credit where credit is due. But before we do that, let's hear what she had to say. This was the governor during her State of the Island address when she discussed universal health coverage. Oh, wait, 1 second. Sorry, I forgot to do that thing again. Hang on. I'm always screwing this up. Okay, you can go ahead and go back.
A hospital without health insurance is like a boat on dry land. We must also prioritize accessible, available, and affordable health insurance, not just for the fortunate or for those who can qualify, but healthcare for all as a human right. By some estimates, the government of Guam currently spends around $330 million in GMH, Medicaid, public health, and the GovGuam health insurance plan. Yet every day, people teeter on the edge of bankruptcy, praying that one illness doesn't break them or their families. On an island ravaged by diabetes, patients are being forced to ration their insulin because the price of this lifeline on which so many depend has increased by an average of 55% since 2014. On an island rocked by too much cancer, treatment can cost over $200,000 a year. Tonight, I call on this body and on our community to start the task of ensuring universal health coverage on Guam through a system of public self-insurance. Coverage will be provided through existing provider networks and will offer comprehensive health services. The funding for this self-insurance plan will require us to pool every dollar the government spends on healthcare. This will become the primary focus of my policy team in the coming year, and I ask every one of you to join them in their work. It will require study, private sector ingenuity, and community courage, but together we will get it done.
So that was the governor on Monday about her push for universal health care. And last year, Kandit was pretty critical of the governor for making the promise in 2018 during the election and not doing anything about this whole universal health care thing. But now she's making it the primary focus.
I don't know.
Better late than never. And she continues a discussion left off by the Calvo administration and former Senator Dennis Rodriguez, and the plan, this so-called self-insurance program or project or whatever it's called, sounds a lot like what the Calvo administration and Senator Rodriguez were trying to accomplish when she says they want to pool all of these funding bases together in order to expand coverage to people who are either uninsured or underinsured. So we know GovGuam active and retirees and their families, they're insured. Federal government employees and their retirees and families, they're insured. People who qualify for Medicaid and Medicare and TRICARE are either insured or underinsured, and everyone in between who is largely in the private sector, working in non-minimum wage jobs like your managers, supervisors, if you've been working in a private sector company for longer than 5 years. And tens of thousands of people have no insurance at all, or the deductible for the insurance plan that they have is so big that they never ever want to go to the doctor to get that primary health care that they need. And then all of a sudden, when they do go to the doctor or the hospital because something comes up, a lot of times it's too late. Like the onset of some disease that has made its way through that requires expensive treatment, it has set in. And then at that point, it becomes Guam Memorial Hospital's financial burden, because very likely you're not going to be able to pay the treatment costs as GMH helps you. And then that's what the administration is saying, is it actually would cost less to structure a universal health care package than to continue paying for health care like we do on Guam right now, where everything is emergency or intensive care at Guam Memorial Hospital. Then GMH eats the bill. Then what does that mean? The taxpayers foot the bill at the
anyway.
end. Yeah. So my opinion of this, if the governor is serious about this, if her administration is going to be vigilant about carrying out a program like this, my opinion is we should give her our support on that, and we should want her to succeed in doing that. Now, there's the yin and yang of the universe, and not everything is all roses for Governor Lulian Guerrero in Kandit News, and that has to do with a story that Johnny's going to bring you now.
The governor provided the $28,000 to fund the special election for Jotnya mayor by taking the money from the already underfunded account for children needing medical and psychological treatment. In a February 17, 2020 statutory notice to Speaker Tina Muñoz Barnes, Governor Lulian Guerrero informed Ms. Muñoz Barnes that she had transferred the money from the Support of Child in Custody account within the Department of Administration to the Guam Election Commission, quote, to cover costs to conduct the special election for the office of the Jotnya mayor, end quote. In the special election will be conducted on Saturday, March 28, 2020, for the voters of Jotnya to determine who will succeed former Mayor Jesse Blas, who faces corruption charges in federal court and is in jail pending trial. Actually, he pled guilty.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, no kidding. My bad.
Guam, he pled guilty, so they're waiting for sentencing. Guam election.
I was thinking of something else that were. Never mind. Sorry.
Guam Election Commission officials told Kandit News the cost will be $27,800. According to DOA Director Ed Byrne, the Support of Child in Custody Fund, which is funded in Section V3 of the Budget Act, makes the general fund responsible for paying court orders for medical, psychological, etc. Costs incurred by children pursuant to court orders if there is no or partial parental contribution. In the past, we have had court-ordered payments and no or insufficient appropriation to fund court orders. The funding, according to the Act, is for the sole purpose of paying orders of the court pursuant to subsection 5116, Chapter 5, Title 19 GCA. The statutory reference is to the Family Court Act. The funding is for the needs of at-risk children and wards of the court who need some form of medical treatment. Earlier in the month, Senator Joe San Agustin introduced Bill number 268-35, which would appropriate the $28,000 needed for the special election from the fiscal year 2019 surplus. That bill, according to the status report on the legislature's website, has yet to be referred to a committee.
Now, there were a bunch of comments on this about how there are people are upset with the governor, like why couldn't she take from the FESPAC funds? Why couldn't she take from another fund? Yeah, I agree with all that, but what I want to focus on in this discussion is Mayor Jesse Blas seems to be the gift that keeps on giving. I mean, now, because of him, because of his babayas, $28,000 is being taken from a fund that the director of administration says is already underfunded. And when court orders come to fund medical or psychological treatment for these kids, that fund never has enough money. And now, because of what Mayor Jesse Blas did, it's going to be underfunded even more. It's just, someone said, why don't we charge Mayor Jesse Blas for, well, he's already telling the court he has problems paying the court-ordered fine, and so, and don't take this and don't take that from me and be in your forfeiture.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure there was another fund she could have
Oh yeah,
touched.
Yeah. Lots of funds. She could have touched the governor's office funds. You know, she could have had someone. They could have taken a 1% pay cut, and it would have been more than enough.
You know how they give out all these press releases? Why wasn't this a press release?
Oh, because there's nothing to
didn't
celebrate there.
Email us and say, oh, by the way, we're taking the money from the kids, the at-risk kids, and we're going to give it for the special election. We didn't get it. We didn't get that email.
Were you the one who found this on the legislature's website, or was it Jacob? Jacob found this.
Jacob.
Yeah. So this is one of those many reports posted on GuamLegislature.com, and when Jacob found it, because it says support of child in custody. At first, we thought it was the child support account, which is supposed to be a restricted account, but that's why we contacted Ed Byrne and Linda Denorsi over at Public Health and asking, what is this? And that's when Ed gave us that reply about what exactly this is. So while it's not child support, this is for at-risk kids who are wards of the court and who need treatment.
Yeah.
It's anyway, when we come back from our short commercial break, we're going to bring you our latest on the Guevaras and their $1 million home in Ipan, Talafofo, and news from the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands.
Funerals actually take a lot more planning than I expected. With us using island cuisine for the first time, of course we were iffy, but once they came and showed us their service, their food, tasted their food and everything, we definitely use them again because their service and food is just awesome.
Hafaday, this is Congressman Michael Nicholas. Our veterans deserve the best, and I'm working hard to make sure they receive what they earned defending our freedom. If you need help receiving the benefits you earned from the VA or the Defense Department, please call my office at 475-6453 or go online at stnicholas.house.gov. On behalf of a grateful community, thank you for your service.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael Nicholas.
After Guam, si Rod's Gimpa introducing the 2020 Toyota Tacoma Access Cap T-Max. Este na mes, gasto mo yung promo ng United Airlines, $1,000 United vouchers. Afanan lang ka, sabik man manono si Tacoma, Guam, Tacoma territory. Text si Rod's, ginagi Atkins Road Toyota, 671-788-2584. Alumbray, go si Rod's, sinanagan sa 671-788-2584. Afanan lang ka, let's go places.
Joseph Guevara, the former permits administrator of the Department of Public Works, whose official actions favored and enriched he and his wife, real estate agent and Democratic senatorial candidate Janine Guevara, also used his power to have the taxpayers pave part of the driveway to his $1 million home in Ipan. In 2017, former Governor Eddie Calvo and the mayors of Guam relaunched the island-wide pavement resurfacing project. The contractor was Hawaiian Rock Products. The funding came from an increase in the liquid fuel tax, which translated into higher prices at the gas pump. The first project involved $3.2 million in pavement of one village street for each village. Out of all the broken roads in Talafofo, the one chosen for repair was in a more affluent neighborhood in Ipan, South Paulino Heights. That's also the road where Joe and Janine Guevara live. Their estimated $1 million home has an ocean view, a pool, and a basketball court. As if it weren't enough that their road was chosen for this project, their driveway also was paved, and part of the pavement was done through the government resurfacing project that you and all of Guam's motorists funding through higher gas prices. According to the Guevara's neighbors, Mr. Guevara was seen and heard instructing the contractor's crew to pour asphalt from the public easement onto his private driveway during the resurfacing of the road in early 2019. DPW Deputy Director Jesse John Garcia said the planning for this project occurred in the previous administration and that the agency had yet to check the execution of this task order. It is something they will look into now that it has been brought to their attention. While the building permit for this project was executed by then DPW Director Glenn Leon Guerrero and not by Mr. Guevara, non-public construction projects by Hawaiian Rock Products needing permitting were coursed through Mr. Guevara's office, placing the contractor in a bind. Kandit has previously reported on the Guevara's abuse of their positions to favor developments by contractors that would later be listed and sold by Ms. Guevara.
So this one, compared to all the other things that we've already reported that the Guevaras have done, is sort of like a drop in the bucket. It's like, you know, so if this is, if the, I forget what they call it, it's when the easement connects to the private driveway and there's an encroachment. There's a term for it, but you know, it's just going to be a few cubic feet of asphalt that's poured. And yes, it is like not, it's not right, it's not legal.
Mm-hmm.
But compared to the corrupt acts that we've already reported on with the Guevaras, it's sort of like a drop in the bucket. But it is reminiscent of the driveways that were paved in Rito by the Gutierrez administration. And there was a whole uproar in that.
And up north, the beach. Where's that?
Urunao.
Urunao. Yeah, I remember that.
There was,
yeah.
and it's reminiscent of when people were upset because of all the cutbacks in government operations that were happening, and then there was this, like, you know, plunta of taxpayer-funded pavements of private driveways. I highly doubt that this is at that sort of level.
Yeah, it's
you
not.
know, this is probably just one of those, hey, come here, you know who I am, you know, just put it right here too.
Yeah.
You know, one of those things. Because the guy already had a driveway. It was just a connection between, on the encroached area or whatever, right? But it's just that abuse of power. But what this story does call to mind is that liquid fuel tax increase. It was 4 cents per gallon or per dollar. I can't remember. But even if it was 4 cents per gallon of gas, I don't think they ever repealed that 4 cent tax increase, right?
I'm not sure.
And that money is supposed to be going to village street construction. So, you know what we need to ask DPW is, or maybe Department of Administration or BBMR, is how much has been collected so far, and is that money really going to pave village streets? And if it is, what village streets
have been paved? Yeah.
Because we got a whole bunch of comments about why Sengsong needs to be, they said, it's not a resurfacing. You need to redo the whole road.
No wonder why my car's not working because the potholes.
Imagine those Sakis that we presented at the beginning of this having to take that motorcycle that they stole from someone else onto these crappy roads. My goodness. Why not think about them, Gov Guam? But that's something that we need to ask about, is what happened to that funding. Now, turning our sights to the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, we, in continuing in our series on legislative allowance spending, Senator Francisco Cruz from Tinian, on January 15, 2019, sent a letter to then Secretary of Finance Larissa Larson asking for $5,000 in legislative allowances for that month, January, and $5,000 for every month until September 2019, which was the end of fiscal year 2019, maxing out the allowance for the entire remainder of the fiscal year that the 21st Commonwealth Legislature was inaugurated into. January 2019 is when the legislature came into office. Now, The other side to this is that there are no documents showing that Senator Cruz asked for the allowance in fiscal year 2020. That would be from October of 2019 through the present period. Did he take an allowance and the document either was not found or not disclosed to Kandit News during the Open Government Act request to Secretary of Finance David Atzelik Jr.? I don't know. But as the documents would suggest, Mr. Cruz took the allowance only during fiscal year 2019, albeit at the maximum rate, so that's a total of $45,000, but for some reason has not taken the allowance in fiscal year 2020. Maybe he's turned a new leaf. Maybe he's become more sensitive to the fiscal situation in the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. Who knows? If that is the case, well, good for him.
Or he could have been like, shoes about to hit the fan, and I'm not gonna, you know.
Well, when did that raid happen? In November, right?
November 8th.
So, well, maybe he understood maybe the financial situation, the reports were coming out in September or something, or maybe earlier than that, and he thought, I don't want to fleece the Commonwealth anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
It could be that too.
It could be.
It could be a lot of things.
Could be. But anyway, that is our report on Senator Francisco Cruz. And we'll continue those reports into legislative allowance spending because the fiscal situation in the Commonwealth, just like in Guam, is getting pretty bad, but it is getting really bad.
It's worse. It's getting worse, yeah.
Last night, was it last night?
Mm-hmm.
The public school system, the Board of Education in the Commonwealth voted to file an injunction in the Superior Court of the Commonwealth against the governor and the government of the Commonwealth for failure to remit constitutionally mandated allotments to the public school system, which has caused not just alarm, but people, their hours to be cut back, of teachers who already are highly underpaid, bus drivers, etc. And I guess the Board of Education has had enough.
Yeah.
And you know, and this is on top of
them not receiving the money on time to pay payroll.
I don't know if that was, that is just straight up like vengeance or something. You know, it either speaks to one of two or both things. One is Secretary Atzelik getting back at the public school system for embarrassing him, or for actually having the audacity to take this stand against what he's doing. But it also could very well be that the cash situation in the Commonwealth is just that bad, that it's come down to remitting the proper documents to the bank at the right time.
Right here it says, due to failure to transfer payroll funds on or before Bank of Guam's cutoff time at 2 p.m. Thursday, February 27, 2020, and required for timely ACH transfer processing, authorization, and release, PSS payroll will be delayed. PSS Finance contacted the CNMI treasurer, at which point this office was advised that the funds transfer is pending the CNMI Secretary of Finance's approval. Yeah.
Man, I feel pretty bad for the workers there in the Commonwealth. They are in a no-win situation, and now with this coronavirus thing, because this financial situation began or was deteriorating well before this coronavirus thing, and now with this coronavirus thing, the cancellation of flights, the faucet is closing on tourism. It's just now like a drip that's coming into their economy, and it's just the people who are going to suffer. And contrary to what the Secretary of Community Affairs and Cultural Matters has said in all of his graphs about the wonderful economy under the Torres administration and all that, all of it is coming to fruition, and the emperor has no clothes. You know, and people are seeing it for what it is.
Someone's foot is in his mouth right now. Jacob says, instead of closing the airport and opening the swimming pools, Lou opened the borders and closed the pools.
You know we are in trouble when our island's only public hospital says They don't want any coronavirus patients at their facilities. Where are they going to go? Government house? I actually got a note or a tip that there was a closed door dinner of cabinet members and their spouses at Government House just tonight, and there's been like a whole bunch of these that have been going on. It's no longer the house of the people; it's the house of the
Lou.
I'm in team or
Lulu's team.
Little Lou, as Richard Leon would say, Gooberna Little Lou. Sandy Rages says, "Heck, the doctors there sucks anyways." She's talking about GMH. Hi, Joanne Fullerton. TD says, universal health coverage, and she's laughing. The kids can't even get from the platform to the slide on that jungle gym in the park. Fix the bridge first.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch in Adelup, a talk between Little Lou and TMB occurs after the Magahaga directs the transfer of appropriated funds. Says TMB, I guess you can sort of categorize a mayoral election as an at-risk children's expense, right? Yeah, no. I love all of you. You're wonderful.
Please don't forget to visit our website at www.candidnews.com. We have coronavirus updates. We have samples of FOIAs there in case you needed help. But we just want you to copy the FOIA and send it to UOG under your email.
And then send us the response.
Yeah.
News@candidnews.com.
And we also have a donate button. If you'd like to donate to Kandit for the cause, that'll be great.
That would
Troy
be
and I
wonderful.
and Eric and all of us, we will really appreciate it.
Don't forget to sing.
Can we play? We'd like to congratulate our friends Jesse Mendiola and Leanne Cruz, now Mendiola. They were married on February 20, 2020.
Eric did the photos.
Yes. So congratulations, Jesse and Leanne. We love you so much here at Kandit.
We love you.
Two of the most awesomest people
Yes.
I've ever met.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
For Candid News, I'm Troy Torres.
And I'm Johnny Rosario.
Good
Good
night.
night.